Italian MPs are debating long-delayed legislation to amend the country's anti-discrimination laws. Proposals would recognise discrimination against women as well as gay and transgender people. But the issue of LGBT rights has caused controversy in the country. From Rome, our correspondent Giorgio Landi reports.
The proposed bill was assigned to the competent parliamentary committee that is actually reviewing it ahead of the debate that will take place in Parliament. That debate will be followed by a vote to approve or not approve the bill. Despite being one of the founding members of the European Union, Italy is one of the few countries that has not yet approved a law on hate crimes against LGBT people, and the proposed bill would introduce the crime of misogyny, violence against women. To discuss that, I'm now joined by Professor Angelo Schillaci. He's a professor of comparative law here in Rome, but he's also among the few people who's been working on the text of the bill alongside MEPs. Professor Schillaci, after 25 years, Italy is getting close to the approval of its first law on hate crimes against LGBT people. How important is to pass that bill?
Well, you mentioned the first reason why it is so important to approve it now, because Italy has been waiting for this law for over 25 years. From a specific legal standpoint, it is important to approve this law now because Italy still has to fulfill a number of international obligations concerning this matter, such as, for instance, European directives or the very Istanbul Convention for what concerns violence and hate against women.
Now, according to the latest report by the European Union Agency for Fundamental Rights, when it comes to the LGBT community and in particular acts of harassment or violence, if we look at Italy, only 8% of the people who took part in that survey declared that they had been attacked in the past 5 years. The average in the EU is around 11%. Can we say that Italy is a homophobic country in your opinion?
Well, this is not a simple question to answer to. What is certain is that in Italy there is a specific issue concerning LGBT persons, a specific issue concerning homophobic attitudes of part of the population, homo and transphobic conducts and attitudes. One of the reasons is cultural mainly. I would say the patriarchal roots of our culture. Nowadays, specifically, what we are witnessing is that in Italy there is a growing intolerance against minorities that is connected much more to the populist discourse as it happens in other European countries such as Poland or Hungary, for instance.
Now, among the biggest opponents here in Italy, there is the Italian Episcopal Conference, pro-life groups. They claim that the law would limit freedom of expression. What's your take on that, and how easy or how difficult it will be to approve the law?
This is clearly an overestimated risk. I don't agree with this position. I can assure in full conscience that this law won't affect freedom of thought. Freedom of thought will remain free. What will be punished is the incitement to hatred, to violence and to discrimination, something that is really and deeply different from freedom of thought, I would say.
Thanks so much, Professor Schillaci, for being with us. Well, it looks like we'll have to wait a few more days to find out what's the Parliament's decision on that bill.
We're taking a short break.